Alright, I'm going to mute that. So how's it going, everyone? So, probably not going to be able to talk about this too much because I don't want to load in multiple times for the beginning of the racing. But, new loading screen that we've custom made. The images have videos, some of them do. So there's different little clips, and it's all based on your sound for the music. Of course, we have a bunch of different songs, so you can sit there and go next and go through all the different songs. This says for your load-in, so whatever song you leave on, or your volume, all that stuff, stays for there. As we grow and things like that, we get community members of the month. Those will go there, and like a little clip will be added for there. But all these photos and all this stuff will be edited over time to match what's going on in the community and just things like that. Just different little stuff going on. Alright, now we're waiting for the character UI to come up. So, don't know why this is doing this. I don't know if it's a FiveM artifact or just one of the quirks of the server. Every server has their little things that are broken that can't be fixed, but no super big deal. It's not really increased load time. Everyone will be dealing with this anyways, but went back with the old loading screen and the old multi-character script, and it just happens to be like that. So when it's ready, this will pop up. You got enter. Same thing with the loading screen, but you got music here. But this one has a menu. You got the slider. You got mute, so forth. We got our scenes, so we can make it where it's going to be random every time you come in, or you can just have it set on whatever option you want it to be, and that will save as you load in, come back in, and it's per character, so your scene's gonna be different for all different characters and things. There's a photo mode, stuff like that, but we'll get into it later as well in a different video. But you got emotes and all that thing, so we'll get into my little racer character here. And we'll open up the laptop UI and we'll go into races. So you got your home page, which is more or less your recent events, your experience, your rating, your wanted, how many wins you've done, so forth. Not everyone, you shouldn't see this whole new track edit and all that stuff. That's for admins / people that have admin perms for the tablet. So the races tab, this is where all of the races that are currently on the map are, so you can route to them and things like that. And there's different classes for each. So you got to match your vehicle to whatever class it is. Tracks, this has been updated currently for testing purposes because every single track needs multiple runs. But we're not going to keep all 102 tracks. That's just way too many. We don't need that many. So it's also kind of where the community is going to come in, and we're going to figure out what tracks we want to keep and what we want to remove and things like that. Because I kind of want to get it down to about 20 to start out, and then later on we can add more back and things like that. Once again, the edit mode, all that stuff you shouldn't see on your screen, but that's because I'm just the dev admin, things like that. History, this is all of your history for previous tracks and things like that. It lets you know what place you place in, but it doesn't matter if you have DNF. So no finish time. Leaderboard, so everyone's leaders here, which I'm on here twice, so things need to be fixed on that point because these should be combined. But a lot of work in progress, but it's just little cosmetic things. So you got your profile, so you can change your racing name, you can upload a profile URL picture and all that stuff. Once again, your stats are there, and the admin tab you won't see, but that's how tracks will get removed and things like that. So more or less what I need from all of you to help improve the AI, because currently when you do these races there's not going to be any AI versing you. We need to build up the data for the AI learning to be able to use it. Each track is going to have to be ran about 10 times, give or take. More data that's collected, the better the AI are. So another reason I want to lessen the tracks down is because trying to run 100 tracks 10 times adds a lot of time and a lot of effort and energy. But so as it goes on and things like that, we'll slowly remove tracks out of here. But anything that's like a whole lot of like checkpoints you really don't need, because there was a track that had like 500 checkpoints, and I ain't looking to do that because doing 100 is about 20-ish minutes, so kind of long. But so is my track that I do on here. Yes. All right. So set a waypoint. As you see, there is a GPS like wave marker on the ground. This isn't 100% like accurate and good. You'll see some funky stuff going on with it. I'll link what dev made this script in the description, like I usually do, because this isn't my script. I didn't do anything to make this. So, and there's a way to customize the HUD to be a different color, so you can make the GPS route marker be a different color, whatever you want it to be, so it's customizable on your end on that. With everything I've been trying to do when it comes to UI on the screen and things like that, to have it where it's all customizable, because everyone has different preferences and color blindness and things like that. So it should be set only where people with the racing job can see like the racing blips on the map. So the ERS people, the inmates, and DOC, they won't be able to see these markers on the map. But you'll drive up to them, you'll press E, and that joins the race, and you'll press E again, and then it starts. And your little countdown timer, and then you go. So since there's no AI, all of the races are time trials, because we also just need the best races and things like that. So the races that don't already have a time trial set, they will pay the full amount of whatever the pool is. So it's probably 5,000. This seems to be like the default option there. And then as more people do it, or more you do the race, they'll add a second and a third, and those will be like the top 3. So once there's 3 race times set, if you don't beat one of those times, you're not going to get paid. Which the whole payments and things like that right now doesn't matter, because everything's going to be wiped once we open up into beta. Alright, well, that shouldn't be like that. So not really supposed to be clipping through and be a no collision ghost with everything around, but whatever. That'll be fixed eventually. Probably shortly after this video is made. For the last 3 hours, I've been trying to make this video, but there's been a lot of tweaks and edits and things like that that I've been having to do with the racing script and then the response side of the racing. We'll wait and see if the AI LEO show up or not. It's all a chance base if they're going to be around. The race itself can spawn them, but also they just have regular patrols, so they can just drive around and show up. Oh, well, I didn't phase through that vehicle. And see, like right there, the GPS waypoint kind of broke and messed up, so I don't know if that's a 5M artifact or what's going on that front as well. But so the racing script is set up to be more like Need for Speed Most Wanted, and that's where I think I call it the blacklist, is going to be set, and that's what handles that. And then the Response X is going to be more like the Need for Speed Hot Pursuit sort of idea, where that's the cop versus racers. And see, like, the waypoint there messed up as well. So the AI LEO, they just ram the crap out of you. That's all they're programmed to do, which, I mean, it's really no different than any AI cops in any other racing game. They're just trying to stop you. There is limits. If you look above the HUD on the left side, you see an RT level. RT is very small. But there's a 3 there. That's my current, like, heat level. And then more or less just means how aggressive the LEOs are and what vehicles can be used. D class has a hard limit of 4. You can't get higher than a 4. But I did see an issue the other day where I went to a 7 for a little bit and then I dropped back down. So still a lot of work in progress and things to tweak and edit and test, but me being the only person doing all this stuff, it's hard to find all the bugs and get everything fixed, because I can only run into so many issues and things like that. And everyone has different hardware. Everyone's going to do these races different and things like that. And also everyone's different driving skills as well, so. But everyone likes perks. So what's in it for you on helping the AI learn and doing these races and getting in the server and just testing things out right now? So on the racing side of things, that's how we're going to build out the blacklist. Depending on how many people show up and does the races, is how many we'll start out with. So think of this blacklist like off of Most Wanted, where you had to complete a certain number of races, and then you burst a boss more or less. And as you climbed up in the list, the bosses got harder and they got better cars and things like that. So more or less that's what the reward is for the racing side. You'll be put on the blacklist and you'll sit there and set that, so players will have to challenge you to progress further along and either beat you, or if you beat them, then you will get rewards there on that front. But if someone ends up winning and they beat you off the blacklist, they take your spot just like a Most Wanted, and they have a chance to get your car because there's pink slips and things like that. But in fairness, you'll only be able to use your blacklisted vehicle in the blacklist race. Anything else, you'll have to use a different car and things like that. So you won't really be able to use your vehicles right away, I guess, unless you're the D class blacklist racer that people have to beat. Then you can have your D class vehicle out and things like that. But you'll be able to select from the cars that we already have on the server to be your personal, like, one-on-one vehicle. Or if you want to add one, you can. You just have to cover the cost of the vehicle and whatnot and just be added to the server for free. So far, no cops, but like I said, it's all chance based. Oh, well, they're not supposed to do that either. But of course, when I record a video, that's when everything just breaks even more and showcases the little issues. Been running this race countless times at this point. I think in the list it says around 50. I don't know the exact amount, but never had them spawn right in front of me like that. We'll see if they catch up. They're supposed to have a line of sight, so if they lose the line of sight of you, they just go into more of a scouting / searching mode, and they'll just search the area of like your last known. Let's see if I can get this triggered up here. Yep. Alright, so I got a speed trap alert. So those also have a chance to make AI LEO spawn in the area, but also the ERS troopers that are on and doing their little cop thing will also get those alerts, so they can also come after you and pull you over. As I said in the statement, racers will never be sent to prison. It's all just fines amounts. You just get your money taken away, and certain RT levels and things like that can get it where your car is impounded. I haven't figured out all those little details yet on how all that's going to work, but for right now, we're not going to do the whole send people to jail and things like that. So that takes a lot of time, energy, and effort to write the reports and send people to jail, and we don't really have the population or the infrastructure, I guess, to really have that going on. So the whole goal with this new project is to just be able to support low pop and not have to worry about needing players to run a dealership or a restaurant or a mechanic shop, things like that. Because with GTA 6 still coming out this year, I doubt it. I still have a feeling that it's going to get delayed, but it more or less pointed that's coming more or less unlikely that it's going to get delayed. But me personally, I just figured we would hear more about it by now, but this could age, horribly, and then tomorrow, June 3rd, something come out, a trailer for GTA 6, something like that, but and people are going to fall. Yep. Every time. But the ERS side of things on the server I haven't really done a whole lot of work into. But it's kind of the plan is to start working on that side of things and getting that up and going. But I've been more or less focused on the racing side these last 3-ish months. But hopefully with your all's help on the racing side, we can get the racing stuff figured out pretty nicely and have a pretty good, unique racing script. But getting the AI to cooperate is going to be the hardest thing, which in theory, the whole racing data should work and make the AI use like our custom waypoint node driving and stuff like that. Because in the background of doing this race this whole entire time, it's been saving the node, so it's been making its own node network as I do this race. But like, I'm messing up there and things like that. That node will get marked as not a high quality node, and if someone else comes through and they do a better job, then that node will take that place. Well, more for a higher quality difficulty racer, since the AI racers will have different difficulties and like that. One could still use that, so that way it looks like they messed up and things. Granted, this is all in theory and hasn't been tested yet. Oops. Yeah, so currently if you press right click, that's how you end the races. I also forgot to say, let me go past this checkpoint. Okay. I'm gonna go a little bit further. So if like you turtle your car or something happens, you get way off track, you can press Y and it'll make you go back to your last checkpoint. Alright, editing Punisher here. I want to apologize for the audio. This was recorded last night and it was hot and I had a bunch of fans going, didn't think about the background noise. And also, this being reviving has been fixed. It's now tied to the Y key, which is the checkpoint key, but also I forgot to cover that you can change this in the keybinds. All the keybinds that I set up for the strips are changeable in-game under the keybind section. So when you press Y, if you're dead in the car or you're dead outside the vehicle, it's going to just revive you. But if you're alive in your vehicle, then it's going to reset your vehicle to the last checkpoint. Well then. Alright. And I'll have to set up a way for when you guys get in the server and test to be able to just revive on the spot. And also, we have a new seatbelt. I'll also link this in the description. But you can actually see it like across the people, which doesn't really matter with the current state of the server because now I can get pulled over and get a seatbelt ticket. But saw that the other day in the forums, like that's pretty nice and a little unique. Unique. Can't speak. And a race shot completed. Which the UI doesn't get updated, but as you see, this pops up, and this is where also you'll be able to sit there and send your feedback on the track. If it's, you know, a good one to use, or if it's bad, so forth. And if there's like any issues that you run into, you see if there's like a map collision issue or things like that. Just anything that would be an issue for the track. So, for now, I'm just going to put test. And we'll go here into the Discord, and there's the review. So, 5-star result, the player's name, the class of the vehicle, feedback, and then the race itself. In theory, if a review gets submitted again for the blacklist, it's going to be added as a message into this conversation. Each track should only have one like post category and not be posted many times, but it is still being tested and tweaked at this time. But that's also how we can communicate and figure out what tracks work and don't work. And I know it's a little problematic, especially if you hear like cops chasing you. So you might get busted, but like I said, it's only going to take your money, and you'll be making a lot of money just by being on the server and doing the races and things like that. So, not too worried about it. That review system will be removed once the tracks are all figured out and they're working properly. So something new that's being worked on is the gas pumps and putting gas in your vehicle. So the fuel tank on this vehicle model is on driver's side. One of the things I wanted with the fuel script is to have different sides for the fuel tanks and things like that. Add more, I guess, uniqueness and difference to all the different like fuel scripts and things like that. Make sure you turn your engine off. Get out of the vehicle. You walk up E, and then you have the menu that pops up. So we have a bunch of different fuel types, and they're all different prices, and eventually these are going to be like fluctuating prices and things, and also just the stock that the gas station has at that time as well. But so select that one. You can either do your bank or your cash. And then when you're ready, just hit pump start, puts in your hand, and then you attach it to the vehicle like normal, and it'll just run through and do its thing. And there we go. And then we'll remove and put it back. There is a debug sort of edit thing in game to make it where the hose will like line up properly, and also if like certain vehicle models, if they have like a gas lid shutter thingy on the side of the vehicle where like it's obvious like that's where the gas tank's at, we can adjust the placement on the vehicle to match that. Oh, hello. So, like I said, they can just randomly come after you. On that front is a little more aggressive. Which is good. Eventually, this should have our add-on sirens, so you won't really like know if it's a player chasing you or if it's AI. But granted, depending on how they act and what they do, you'd be able to tell, because the players are not just going to just instantly start ramming you. Alright, can I do this quick? Cinematics. Oh. They're gonna bust me, aren't they? No, they're good. Oh. Nope. I didn't want to do that. I need to get my car back. Yeah, they busted me. Well, crap. Alright, so that's probably going to wrap up the video. I couldn't get the cinematic thing to work properly. I still got to go get it, I guess, synced up with our weather management script. So that way it stops the lights from flickering and things like that. But I'll still link it in the description below. But so that's going to end with the racing for today's video. Thank you all for watching. Hope to see you guys in the server and help me out. Feel free to message me on Discord or join in the chat and message in those channels as well. This next month is going to be a lot of more content and just heavy going at it and getting everything ready for more of a beta / closer to launch. I don't want to set a date or anything like that for beta / like some sort of like launch until like the server is like 90% ready. Like I want it to be pretty good. Most of these issues and things like that are fixed. Still frustrates me that these issues are in this video, but it's been delayed long enough and I just need to get something out and go ahead and just keep on working on racing and get it all fixed and figure it all out. But I'll catch you on the next video.